Are you guys ready for this? Okay, so Ethan has been talking about doing a Kickstarter, an Indiegogo or something for Cyberfrog. He did a couple drawing videos, and it just keeps getting me more and more pumped for, yeah boy. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to get some old Cyberfrog, and this is the second volume, #1, so let's just get into this. But I will say, Cyberfrog, I think he's a little bit of an edgelord, if you know what I'm saying. Not to an extreme point. He's not rocking trench coats, because that's where I use the phrasing, is in PUBG. If somebody's got, you know, the edgelord coat, look out. But, you know, he's cool. He's cool as well, so let's just get into this. Okay. Wow, you can really tell this is from '96. So we get into this, and we see a woman is being held hostage because she's been lured in by basic big city mythology. And she's encountering a gang called Traffic, but it's Traffic with a K. We were doing that in the '90s, big. So it all checks out. I'll quit that whining, yo. Wow. Don't know what an honor it is to be done by a Traffic brother, and they're about to just totally gank this kid. But we see these are Cyberfrog talking to us, and he said, "The side of town is populated with the kind of ratty little 2-bit weasels that I've grown to love putting underground." God, he's so cool. Like this goof. Look at this fucking guy. People putting rubber bands at the end of their dreads. What the hell? That's how you start dreads. You don't finish dreads with rubber bands. Circus material, every one of them. They're Traffic, the biggest gang on the East Coast. You know, maybe, I don't think they're based in reality, but, you know, I've never heard of a gang called Traffic, but maybe they're so good at being a gang, we haven't even heard of them. Maybe they don't exist anymore. So she starts crying. She's like, "No, just take my purse." And then we see, oh, our first look at our guy. He's beautiful. It's about to be violently repossessed in a few seconds. I'm busy right now. And we see he's busy. He's drinking that caffeine. Classic '90s edgelord, loving his caffeine. Talking about he's going to eat a big bucket of greasy death-fried chicken. Oh, God. We were so about eating everything that was the worst for us in the '90s. It's routine. He's doing that shit on the daily. I don't even get out of bed without a few gallons of raw caffeine, man. That's routine, too. He's so cool. He's so... Dude, if I would have read this when I was like 6 years old, holy shit, where would I be now? Probably the exact same. When we see him, he's lurking up there. And he's like, "Me and my conscience, I guess I'll kill them all and save the chick." Is this guy... Okay, for a second I thought he was wearing glasses. Like, you can't be a member of the gangster Traffic if he's glasses, so he calls him, "Hey, jerky." Oh, snap. And then we see this, like the title page. And I see what you tried to do here, Ethan Van Sciver. I see what you did, Uncle Ethan. You throwing a bunch of arrows onto some text. You trying to do some graffiti shit. I gotta tell you, it did not work out. But I respect the hustle. Let me see. Look alive, it's raining. And then just cue the thrash music that isn't popular anymore because of grunge, but it was previously popular. We see him just jumping down on these just piece of shit Traffic motherfuckers. And we get this Bible quote from the Lord God. "And if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, I will smite thy borders with frogs." At first I was like, is this maybe about the plagues or something? But then it reveals itself to be 100% true to the Bible. And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go and bust skull. That's I've seen that tattooed on people's bodies. Right above their huge tribal cross tattoo. That's real. Bust skull. Pretty sure that's in red text. Pretty sure Jesus said that one. Oh, God. I just want to show, like, every fucking page. So he sees them, and he's like, "Oh, at least give me a minute to wipe this brain's junk off your what, dude?" And then we see, he starts getting shot at by these... Oh, this guy is wearing glasses. What the fuck? I guess this is before contacts were prevalent, but I feel like you can't be a gangster and have glasses. Maybe that's just me, you know, being discriminatory. I feel like today you can't be wearing glasses being in a gang. No way. You gotta get contact lenses. So we see him jumping back in all his, you know, agility. And he's like, he's just getting shot at, and he said, "Bullets are the answer to every question around here. These guys would be pretty good on a debate team." Ethan, dude. He says, maybe not exactly good, but kind of amusing. I mean, imagine the response to any political conundrum being answered with a hail of bullets. Utopia. Dude, that still works today. We can still reference this today. And I just want to show how much of a boss Cyberfrog is. I don't even call people bosses. I just call people like, oh, that's upper management level of ass kicking. He's doing boss shit. He just popped this dude's head off with a back fist. And then he kicked a hole through this fucking guy. Oh my god. And then, it kind of loses a little bit. He just threw like a cement block in this guy's face. He kind of looks like he's still alive. But his frontal lobe is done. So his life is definitely downgraded now. But then look at this. He tied this guy's neck up. Holy shit. That's cool. Regardless, just that. But then thinking of Ethan sitting at a desk and he drew this. It's like, holy shit. And then he just shoved comics down this guy's throat. Wow. A lot going down here. Awesome. And then so, he calls himself an artiste. That is totally true. So the woman he saved is freaking out, calling him a murderer. And he's like, yeah, cool. Oh wait, did you want to rip up a couple of them yourself? And he's just holding, okay, it's not a decapitated head. But anytime you're holding a head like that, you're pretty damn cool. I mean, yeah. God, his physique is something to behold. And she's like, no, and she's like, say thanks. You just murdered 6 people in cold blood and you want me to thank you for it? You toadish looking ghoul. You ungrateful bitch. And of course that gives him little stormy clouds. So you know what? Cyberfrog, he's our dude. He puts ungrateful bitches where they belong. In the fucking trash. So then we see him holding a newspaper, which is just comical. And I'll skip a couple pages, but he reads the newspaper and he finds out that people are being eaten and shit out. And oh, it's a really cool shot of him jumping through the rain, but you gotta skip some stuff. So basically his homing sense is supposed to automatically guide him to crime, but it hasn't been guiding him to this crime even though he was in the area. So he's like kind of confused about that. He's like, if I can't trust my homing system, what the hell? So then we see this guy. He's going to be our big bad of the issue. Ooh, look at him. And then just look at this. This is so 90s. And speaking of things that suck, the mall. Dude, the mall still fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying. So we see this guy. And his name is Ben Reilly. Not that Ben Reilly. Not Spider-Man Ben Reilly. But just a guy named Ben Reilly. And he's scoping out other teenagers at the mall. And he calls them dorks. Ooh, yeah. God, I feel like I'm about to go watch like all those physical challenge shows on Nickelodeon right now, looking at this guy, and they're like, oh, that's a pretty dope medallion. I guess he is interested in the wheels of steel, but no. That medallion around his neck makes him very special. It means he's a humanitarian. Oh, what? He eats humans. Holy shit, we got cannibals? I don't know if cannibals were a 90s thing, but in reading that right now, I totally believe it was. And then we see just Ethan just hammering on the youth of 96. Oh, don't we look cutting edge tonight? It's good to see he's wearing something so anti-stylish. We're rocking that 9 Inch Nails tee. And I just want to look at this guy's necklace for all of time. It's... God, that necklace, it hit me pretty hard. God, it hit me pretty hard. And we know that these people are awful. He's like, hey, today I actually made it through the CD you lent me without having to chase it with Billy Joel. Getting to be pretty hardcore, huh? And he's got a Fugazi CD. I know they had a song on like a Tony Hawk game, but I can't name it. But I recognize it. Yeah. So, just like, we're all getting pretty hardcore, right? And she's like, yeah, Mark, we all are. Hey, my parents, God, if they're insufferable. And it's how exactly they were in 96. So, Ben, he touches his medallion and he turns into a thing that looks so fucking awesome. Look at this. Like, I don't even have to try to be funny in this. I just gotta show you this shit. He rips off his face. Look at that. I'm getting some, like, Todd McFarlane vibes, but you know what? God, it doesn't make it any less cool. Like, holy God. I just, like, want to stare at this image. And then the guy in the 9 Inch Nails shirt, his haircut was worse than we could have ever imagined. So he starts ripping on him, and just look at this. Oh, he calls him pretentious, not letting a nice guy like me pick your brains, and it's like, oh, nice guys means a totally different thing now. And he's got his maws just filled with this guy's fucking head, and he spits it out clean. So this is a baddie who doesn't waste food. And he asks who's next to the two girls, and the blonde bitch, she says her, which is like, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh my god, that's so true. So true. So he says, oh, don't make me choose, and he fucking eats both of them. And then I'm going to skip this page over here, but it's Cyberfrog. He's in like his house, which is like an abandoned building, and we learn that he's the coolest because he watches daytime television all day because, you know, nighttime. He's nocturnal. That's when he goes out. And then there's like a news story. I feel like early comics, like 80s, 90s comics, they would constantly show like a news anchor telling like exposition or something that happened, but I don't think that happens that much now, but I've just got to read what the news anchor says. Bad news today, I'm afraid. People keep dying. This time it was 3 kids ripped to shreds outside the Basic City Mall. Holy shit. Uncle Ethan was referring to people and places as basic in '96. He was 20 years ahead of the curve. Holy shit. Police identify one pile of stinking flesh as 18-year-old Mark Lau, an honor student at Basic High School. The other 2 heaps of excrement have yet to be identified, but are assumed to be mall chicks. So who cares? Now this fires up Cyberfrog. He's like, why is my homing sense not working? I don't understand what's happening. And then we get a little backstory on our boy, because you know what? I'm a little interested in how he came to be. Look at that face. Beautiful. So, he says, like, this is his origin. He was first submerged in water. I was newborn, but for some reason I wasn't, like, ignorant or anything. I loved it. Like, in the last stream I watched, he was talking about a Cyberfrog video game, and people were saying Earthworm Jim. I totally get that now. I said Battletoads just because it seems like, come on. But Battletoads also are, like, cool like this. And Battletoads are in Mortal Kombat right now, so we can get some Cyberfrog in there easy. You know that feeling when you wake up with a hangover in a strange bed not remembering the night before? That's exactly how it was. And I thought I looked like hell. And then he says, like, oh, he looked like a superhero cliche, so might as well become one. So he does. I just love this panel. Like, the profile view on Cyberfrog is crazy. So he says one day he starts getting a buzz, which is his homing sense. He says, it was like, well, imagine frickin' poison setting up in your ear canal and playing Unskinny Bop at 3 billion decibels. And I can't even tell you a worse form of torture for myself than hearing poison in my head at that level. I hate poison. I hate it. So naturally, that's his homing sense, and it starts sending him in a certain direction. So he starts heading towards it, and through exertion, I discovered something else. I had boob boosters. Oh god, like, Cyberfrog keeps on giving. I thought we were going to get a little bit of why he has metal around him, but I don't even care. I don't even care right now because that shot is awesome. So he finally touches down on the ground. He says, so picture this. There I am on the street with my first encounter with people. My thoughts? You guys suck. Oh, I love that. I still say the things suck, even though I don't feel like that's, you know, current slang. But I mean, it's so good, how can you not? So of course they start running away, and we get this old lady with rollers that permeated all of media for the last 1 million years. Lord, save us all. It's another demon from the very pits of hell. And he's just like, ugh. And I like how his hands are like, what? Like, he's so, like, confused at that. Listen, you baggy old crone, I've never even been to hell. It just seems like it sometimes. I get these hens foulest of Satan's men. And he bops the shit out of her. Oh my, oh shut your polydent chewing hole. Boom! Just hits her with that elbow. Like, oh god, that's how you know your hero's a good guy. That sounds sarcastic, but a guy who's willing to shut up an old lady, that takes balls. You think Spider-Man, you know, he's my favorite, but you think Spider-Man is gonna pop Pop an old lady in the jaw because she's running her mouth? I don't think so. Cyberfrog, he's got that. He's got that for us. And we see the very first villains he encountered, which is this like, oh look at that, I didn't even notice the tail. It's like this weird cat werewolf monster, I don't even understand. And then a guy whose muscles are brown and he's got like California raisins around him, or like shit extensions, I don't know. But the cool thing about this is this. Ethan is like so good at doing reflections in the metal, and he probably owes it to Cyberfrog, but you can tell that it's from different angles, and I'm like, God. Ugh. It's like you see his work now, and you're like, oh, that probably took him a long time to get there. And like, yeah, he's better drawing now than he was then, but even in '96, his shit was popping. Like, damn it. Why are you so good? So it shows another girl. Ben goes after another girl, but she knees him in the balls, so he goes away. And then we're back to Ben's house, and we see his mom is singing some old Christian songs here. And look at his room. Jesus Christ. It's got fleshy tendrils coming out there. And she tells him that she's got fresh laundry. And he's like, Mother, you must pay for your crimes against the Dark Lord of the Underworld. Is there a Dark World of the Lord of the Overworld? Your flesh will feed 1,000 maggots as the flames lick the skin from your bones. Your eyes will be. And then she's like, okay, well then I'll just leave it outside your door. Which is, it's so true of like teenage angst. Just teens being insane in the room and the parents just being like, okay, here's your laundry. And then he starts lamenting about the girl who got away because he loves her and is infatuated with her. And the fact that she did get away is sort of enticing to him. And he's like, I want to kill her, but I also don't want to kill her, but she looks pretty tasty. So he breaks a window by throwing a skull in it, and this is why I have to show it. Just look at this, Karish, and he sees that doesn't matter, but then we get to his mom, and it's like, is everything okay in here, Ben? I thought I heard a Karish. Are you kidding me, Ethan? And then the last page is him sort of transforming back into the spider thing, but oh my god, like this, it's kind of cheesy. It's a little bit Edgelord, like 90s Edgelord stuff, but I love it. I cannot wait for new Cyberfrog. I did get another issue Cyberfrog called like Cyberfrog Reservoir. I've done a couple issues of New X-Men. The next one I got up was drawn by Ethan. I didn't even notice it when I bought it, but I noticed that yesterday. So subscribe so you don't miss all that shit. Just look at it. Those simmering, beautiful eyes.